Joseph Merrick, the Elephant Man. Joseph Merrick, known as the Elephant Man, was born in 1862 in England and suffered from a rare medical condition, possibly a combination of neurofibromatosis and Proteus syndrome. His body was covered in tumors and severe deformities, which led to his exploitation in freak shows. Despite this exposure, Merrick was an extremely intelligent and sensitive man. Schlitzie, the Pinhead. Schlitzie was one of the most famous freak show performers, known for his condition called microcephaly, which made his head abnormally small. He performed in exaggerated costumes and exhibited childlike behavior, often promoted as a monkey man or the last of the Aztecs. Despite the exploitation, Schlitzie was deeply loved by his fellow circus performers. Chong and Ung Bunker, the original Siamese twins. Born in Thailand in 1811, Chong and Ung Bunker were the first Siamese twins to achieve worldwide fame. Joined at the chest, they were taken to the United States and displayed as exotic attractions. Later, they managed to free themselves from their exploiters and build a stable life, marrying two sisters and having multiple children. Their case helped popularize the term Siamese twins, which is still used today. Frank Lentini, the three-legged man. Frank Lentini was born in Italy with a rare condition called polymelia, which caused him to have a fully functional third leg. Additionally, he had two sets of genitals, further increasing public fascination. Lentini gained success in American circus shows and was known for his ability to use his extra leg impressively. Edward Mordrake, the man with two faces. The legend of Edward Mordrake tells the story of an English nobleman born with a second face on the back of his head. According to reports, this extra face could laugh and cry, but did not speak. Mordrake allegedly begged doctors repeatedly to remove his second face, claiming it whispered demonic things to him at night. Lionel, the lion-faced man. Lionel, whose real name was Stefan Bobrowski, was born in Poland with hypertrichosis, a condition that caused excessive hair growth all over his body. He had a thick layer of hair covering almost his entire face and body, earning him the nickname the lion-faced man. Myrtle Corbin, the four-legged woman. Myrtle Corbin was born with an extremely rare condition called dipygus, which caused her to have a second set of smaller, underdeveloped legs. Despite this, she managed to live a relatively normal life, marrying and having children. Annie Jones, the bearded woman. Annie Jones was born with hypertrichosis and, from infancy, was displayed in freak shows as the bearded girl. Over time, she became one of the most famous performers in P.T. Barnum's Circus, where she worked for decades. Mademoiselle Gabrielle, the legless woman. Gabrielle Fuller was a woman born without legs, but that didn't stop her from shining on stage. Known as Mademoiselle Gabrielle, she amazed audiences with her grace and elegance, even working as a model in art exhibitions. Grace McDaniels, the Mule Woman. Grace McDaniels was born with a condition known as Sturge-Weber syndrome, which caused large facial tumors. Cruelly nicknamed the Mule Woman, she found a way to sustain herself through freak shows. Despite her appearance shocking to the public, Grace was described as a kind and loving woman. Wong, the man with two pupils in each eye. It is said that Wong, a 19th-century Chinese man, had the rare condition of polychoria, which gave him two pupils in each eye. He was exhibited at fairs and sideshows as a natural marvel, attracting the attention of scientists and spectators alike. Betty Lou Williams, the woman with four arms. Betty Lou Williams was born with a duplication of her upper limbs, making her a notable attraction at circuses and fairs. Despite the attention she received, she lived a relatively private life away from the spotlight. Isaac Sprague, the living skeleton. Isaac Sprague suffered from an unknown condition that prevented him from gaining weight. He was exhibited as the living skeleton, astonishing audiences with his extremely thin appearance. Otis Jordan, the Turtle Man. Otis Jordan was born with severe deformities that limited his movement, but that didn't stop him from becoming a freak show star, showcasing his ability to perform incredible tricks without the use of his legs. Johnny Eck, the Half Man. Johnny Eck was born with a condition that caused him to develop only the upper half of his body. He was known for his agility and ability to walk using only his hands, making him one of the most admired performers of his time. Zip, the Conehead Man. Zip, whose real name was William Henry Johnson, had microcephaly, a condition that resulted in a small skull and reduced mental development. He became one of the most iconic figures of freak shows and was often presented as the missing link in evolution. Lucia Zarati, the smallest woman in the world. Lucia Zarati was born with an extreme form of primordial dwarfism, reaching only 50 centimeters in height. Her condition made her one of the most famous attractions in freak shows. James Morris, the Zebra Man. James Morris had a condition of skin hyperpigmentation that led him to be promoted as the Zebra Man. His body displayed marks resembling stripes, making him a standout figure in circus performances. Priscilla Bijano, the bearded woman in A Famous Marriage. Priscilla was born with hypertrichosis, and despite initial exploitation, she found love when she married Emmett Bijano, a man with severe ichthyosis. Together, they became one of the most famous couples in freak show history. Cuckoo, the Bird Woman. Cuckoo had microcephaly and was promoted as the Bird Woman due to her small stature and exotic costumes. She appeared in the iconic 1932 film Freaks. Alice E. Doherty, the Woolly Girl. Alice was born with hypertrichosis, having her face and body covered by a thick layer of golden hair, which earned her the nickname the Woolly Girl. Edouard Beaupré, the Giant of Willow Bunch. Edouard Beaupré grew to over 2.50 meters tall, becoming one of the tallest recorded individuals. His impressive strength and height made him a standout performer. Annie Hindle, the first female-male impersonator. Annie Hindle was one of the first women to gain fame as a drag king, challenging gender norms by performing as a man on stage. Jack Earl, the Gentle Giant. Jack Earl was another giant in freak shows, but he was also known for his artistic talent and poetry, breaking stereotypes about giants of the time. Hiram and Barney Davis, the Giant Twins. The Davis brothers were famous for their towering height and physical strength. They performed together as the Giant Twins and were celebrated for their imposing presence. George Moore, the 17 centimeters dwarf. George Moore was one of the smallest people ever exhibited in freak shows, standing at only 17 centimeters tall. Horace Riddler, the Tattooed Man. Horace Riddler